On today's show,
but I wish some teachers would know that most of us are working to get scholarships to go to college and get our college paid off, using the sport. So if we're tired, if we're leaving early, if we're missing class a little bit, if we seem not focused because of the athletic side of it, it's not that we're not trying to be attentive or we're not trying to do our work. It's just that we're trying to get scholarships from two different areas, academic and athletic.
Yeah.
So the balance between that can be a lot and could be one like myself staying up late at night, stuff like that. And if I'm tired the next morning, please don't get mad. We're balancing school as well. We almost have two jobs that we're not getting paid for. So that's something that I wish that they would know.
Welcome to Education Today. I'm your host, ssolanke. I spent 15 years in the secondary classroom teaching English, reading, and social studies. I've also been on the other side as a parent of 3 children who have completed the formal schooling years of kindergarten through 12th grade and are now in the college and career stage. Now I'm here to have conversations with teachers, administrators, school staff, students, and parents about all things education. Join me as I cover current topics in education from preschool through to college, career, and beyond. Hello and welcome to today's show. Today I have 2 guests. I have Amaris Hamilton-Grein and her sister Sienna Hamilton-Grein. Welcome to today's show, young ladies.
Hi. Glad to be here.
Oh, thank you. Let's start with you, Amaris. What grade level are you in and what sport do you play and how long have you played that sport?
I am in grade 12, so I'm a senior.
Ooh.
I play soccer, and I have been playing since I was 6, so going on 12 years.
Okay. And Sienna?
I am a sophomore in high school, and I play soccer, and I've been playing since I was in 2nd grade, so for about 8 years now.
2nd grade. Wow, that's young. Do you guys play school soccer and club soccer?
Yes, I play club soccer and high school, and so does Sienna as well.
Okay. So how long is each of those seasons?
So for club, preseason usually starts about July, and depending on if you make it to nationals, it goes through July. So it's actually, you usually get like a 2-week break. And then for high school, it's usually between early November to like mid-February.
Did you say club season is a whole year?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
You can go for 12 months. It just depends on if you go to nationals or not. So some of us end in May, which means you're only playing for 10 months. And then if you go into nationals, then you're essentially playing for an entire year.
Okay. So you're both full-time students in high school and you have this soccer schedule also for either school soccer or club soccer. Those 2 seasons don't overlap though, do they?
They kind of do, but what happens is we take a club season break.
Okay.
So if you're not playing high school soccer, club season is still going on. There's not really any games, but club season's still going on for those who don't play high school. But for those who do, we take a break from club. And sometimes we have a few showcases or tournaments to play in. But other than that, it kind of does overlap if you want to say, but we get a break.
Yeah. So like I said, you're full-time students and then you're playing soccer also. So either of you can answer this. What does your average weekly schedule look like between going to class, doing homework and assignments, doing practice and games for soccer? And plus, you might have I don't know if you have a part-time job or if you have, chores around the house, babysitting or something. What does your average week look like?
So for me,
This is
first,
Sienna, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm trying to take school-wise, I'm taking all honors, and so it can be a little difficult at times. But that's usually from school until 1:45, and then I have to take the online courses that I do. So I'm doing that at home for a little bit. I get like a 2-hour break, and then there's practice, whether it's high school or club. It's usually that schedule where there's practice. And then I'm home around like 9. about, and then it's doing any extra homework and going to sleep. And that's my schedule, like during the week.
Yeah.
On the weekend, if I have a game, then it's usually just wake up, eat breakfast, whatever, go to the game, and then it's just chilling and recovery, stretching, whatever it needs to be on the weekend.
Yeah. And does your schedule look very similar, Amaris?
It's pretty similar. I just started actually a part-time job in January, so my schedule's a little bit more different than Sienna's at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I take less class periods than her in school. So I actually get to leave school a little bit early. So that helps me out a lot. I do my part-time job in between that time from when I get out of school until practice. And then I go to soccer practice as well. Right now I'm actually injured, so I haven't been able to show up. But when I come back, this will be my day-to-day schedule. So I'll go to practice after I do some work or any homework that I have. And then we'll be getting home around, depending on the location. Sometimes it can be 9:30, sometimes it can be 9:15. And then it's pretty much the same end of day schedule as Sienna, homework, showering, doing all that stuff, and just a repeat. So we do that about 4 days a week. And then sometimes on weekends we have 1 or 2 games on top of on top of what happens during our weekdays.
Yeah. So you guys have this busy schedule. One of you even has a part-time job. How do you balance it all?
So for me, lately, this month, part of my 2023 resolution actually was that I wanted to start making to-do lists and schedules for what I'm wanting to do, what I want to get done during the day. So it makes it a lot easier when I kind of have my day planned out. So then I'm not stressed or trying to figure out, oh my gosh, what am I going to do last minute, procrastinating or anything like that. So that has really helped me a lot. And then just kind of staying on top of things and organized and just getting things done right when I can.
Yeah. And you, Amaris, how do you balance it all?
I have begun, especially with the part-time job, I really gotten into scheduling my days out ahead more. I'd like to write them down, but I haven't gotten there yet. But I schedule my days out ahead of time to where I schedule what days, because I also have online classes. So I plan those out to where I plan what days I do my online and then what days I do my part-time job. So it's just really about, scheduling your time out ahead of time, because otherwise you're going to be all over the place. Your thoughts are going to be everywhere, and then you're going to, you're going to miss something, or you could, completely just misread your entire day, and then you forgot something, this or that. So it's a lot, but once you get the hang of it, you start planning ahead of time, and it's not as bad.
Yeah.
If I could also add another thing onto that, a big thing that I didn't think about is also making time for yourself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of athletes don't do that too much.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even a lot that we're seeing in college with a lot of student athletes struggling mentally.
Yeah.
And so that's something you really have to do, is give yourself time to just relax and not to put too much pressure on yourself.
So what do you do in that time?
In that time, it's, the normal, right? What a regular teenager would do is scroll on Instagram, TikTok, and then actually also reading. I really like doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's usually one of those two things.
Yeah. So you touched on something about the pressures of being a student athlete if you don't take time yourselves. Do either of you ever feel stressed or overwhelmed with trying to balance school and athletics?
This is Amaris. I can deal with that. Sometimes I had to learn to not try and please everybody else.
Yeah.
I also had to learn how to balance that out as well, between learning how to please my coaches, please, my grades, if that makes sense, and my teachers and stuff like that. I had to learn how to balance that out. It can be stressful and overwhelming sometimes because you want to please every single one of those things, but sometimes you have to sacrifice one thing to where you might have to tell coach, hey, I'm sorry, I won't be able to make it because of school. Or, hey, coach, this or that, I need a break. I need a mental break. Because like Sienna said, taking time for yourself is a big thing, because if you don't take time for yourself, you can leave yourself in a bad place. And Yeah. So learning how to balance those few things are really important as a student athlete.
Yeah.
So for me, the pressures, I'm with Amaris on that. And actually, like she was saying, she had to learn to deal with it. And me actually seeing her deal with it helped me see, okay, I can't do pleasing everybody else too much to the point where I'm not making, time for me.
Yeah.
So I was able to learn at an early age to, yes, do certain things to please others, but don't go above and beyond where it's like you're worried about pleasing them and you're not helping yourself out.
Yeah.
So I'm not dealing with as much pressure as maybe a normal athlete because I was able to learn in the beginning how to take care of myself.
Yeah, that's good. So you've been part of soccer teams since you were very young, both of you. How was being part of this sport and being part of various teams helped you to build certain character traits?
So this is Sienna. For me, it helped me build confidence was one.
Yeah.
Also being humble.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'm currently still struggling with, but it's getting better, is controlling my emotions.
Oh.
Especially as a goalkeeper, it can be very hard
Yeah.
mentally on the field because yes, everybody says it has to get through 11 players before it gets to you, but at the end of the day, you still feel like it's your fault.
Yeah.
So emotionally, I had to learn to control any anger on the field because attitude is a big thing, especially when you're wanting to get scouted, whether it's college or professionally. So that I had to learn. And then, like I was saying, with humbling myself, I had to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And then the confidence really helped me as a person as well.
So confidence not just on the soccer field, but in your regular life also, like in school or just in general, just confidence.
Yes, it has helped just in general.
Okay, that's good. And Amaris, any character traits that you believe you've been able to build as a result of being a student athlete?
Yes, there's many, but a few you would be, like Sienna said, confidence is a big one. On and off the field, you learn how to just be confident in who you are and your abilities and what you can do. Independence was a big one for me. I learned how to not rely on anybody else really to see what I want and what I desire for my future to come to pass.
Yeah.
I learned that it's on me. It's my choice. It's my decision. A coach can't decide it for me. I'm promised in my future, they're not. So I can't sit here and rely on them for everything.
Yeah.
Independence was a big one. Frustration was my first ultimate one. Learning how to deal with it. It's similar to Sienna's dealing with emotions. Learning how to channel the frustration properly. It's okay to get frustrated, but how you react to that frustration, how you channel that frustration is very important. And that's still something I'm working on now. I've been working on it for years, but it's gotten 100 times better, and I'm still on the way to getting that perfected. So those are the three major things. Those are the three major character traits.
Okay. It's a little ironic, isn't it, that playing a team sport helps you to to build independence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting, but that's kind of because coaches, sometimes they have 16, 18, 20 players on a team. And so it's very hard for them to focus on one player at a time.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to learn how to they have so much, they have their own lives. Some of them have their own kids. Some of them have a wife or a husband, and they don't single you out. This isn't an individual sport. So you have to learn how to deal with things on your own because they're not always going to be there every step of the way because they can't,
Yeah.
So it is interesting, but it really does teach you independence and how to learn how to make the right decisions on your own and independence.
That's good. So going forward, as you continue your journey in soccer as student athletes in high school and on to college, I actually have 3 questions to ask you. And the 3 questions are, what do you want your parents to know? What do you want your coaches to know? And what do you want your teachers to know? And the last one is interesting because as a teacher, I've seen, not me, I'm not like this, but I promise you, other teachers who are very resistant towards student athletes. They believe that they have a certain privilege that is not fair to other students. They believe that they I'm using air quotes, get out of certain obligations in the classroom, believe that they get special treatment, they get to leave early. So yeah, what do you want your parents, your coaches, and your teachers to know as you continue this journey?
So this is Sienna. For my parents, something I always wanted them to know is that I really appreciate all that they do, because without their support, emotionally, financially, everything, I wouldn't even be able to do anything in this sport. So I always want them to know that I love them and very much appreciate all the support they've given. For coaches, I want him to know that no matter how much it may seem like I'm giving him attitude, that I will always appreciate his coaching and everything he's done for me. I've happened to my coach, I've had him since I was in 7th grade. So he's honestly been one of the main coaches who have helped build my playing to where it is today. And as for teachers, I think I just kind of want them to know that even though I may sometimes have these excuses as to why I didn't get an assignment done or anything like that, that I really am trying my best. But I will say personally for me, I haven't had really, I think, ever an issue with a teacher. And I think it's because I try just as much in the classroom as I do outside of the classroom. So I was always an athlete that they appreciated, I think, for that, because sometimes it's the athlete's fault because they just use their athletics as an excuse. But I want my teachers to know that I always try my best.
That's good. Thank you. Amaris, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, sure. So for the parents, I'm with Sienna on that. I want our parents to know that, they did a lot for us. All that money and time that they put into that, and things that they had for themselves, that they had plans for themselves, desires that they had of themselves that they had to put aside for a little bit. Parents are a big piece of that. So I'm with Sienna on that one. Also for the teachers, it's interesting. I'm with Sienna. I don't really have a big problem with them because they can see that I work hard. They can see that I'm attentive. So if I have a weird day or something like that, they typically don't give me an issue. But I wish some teachers would know, because I've heard of other student athletes going through that most of us are working to get scholarships to go to college and get our college paid off, using the sport. So if we're tired, if we're leaving early, if we're missing class a little bit, if we seem not focused because of the athletic side of it, it's not that we're not trying to be attentive or we're not trying to do our work. It's just that we're trying to get scholarships from two different areas, academic and athletic. So the balance between that can be a lot, and could be one like myself staying up late at night, stuff like that. And if I'm tired the next morning, please don't get mad. That would be one thing. And for coaches, the same thing. We're balancing school as well. So the one thing I wish that some coaches would understand more is that their job, they get to, plan out their coaching all day. We have to go to school all day. So they have one job, which is to be a coach, and we almost have two jobs that we're not getting paid for. So we're going to school and soccer. So we're juggling two different things. So it's the same thing as teachers. If we show up and we're off, please don't get mad. We might have had a hard day at school. We might have had to stay up the night before. So that's something that I wish that they would know.
Yeah, thank you. You're talking about the club coaches, right? Because the high school coaches, most of them are teachers or have full-time jobs, right?
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm talking about club, not high school yet, because they're the same as us, balancing two different aspects.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me today to talk about the life of a student athlete and what it's like to balance athletics and academics. I wish you guys the best of luck as you go on in your adventures in soccer, and look forward to seeing great things for you. And I believe, Amaris, that you have been signed to a school, correct?
Yes, I have.
Where will you be attending next year?
I will be attending the University of South Florida. I'll be playing D1 soccer there, and I'm very excited to come in. My goal is to come in and be an immediate impact player, so I'm very excited for the next level and the next step.
I like the little pun you just did. You said, my goal is to be...
Yeah.
I appreciated that little pun. Congratulations and well done.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
All right. Bye. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Education Today. We'll be back next time with more current topics on all things education. In the meantime, you can email any questions or comments you have about the show to edtodaypodcast@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, please hit the subscribe button on whichever platform you are listening so we can continue to expand our reach. We are listener supported, so if you're able to make a small monthly donation, you can do so by clicking the Support This Podcast link at the bottom of the show notes. Check out my blog for more about my experiences as a classroom teacher at medium.com/@SOCO. That's medium.com/@SOHKOR. You can also find me on Instagram at SOCO_writes. That's SOHKOR_writes. See you next time, and thank you again for listening.